I wrote this May 11th, 2020. Lucille, Terrence, Garrett, Marielle. In the doorway of apartment 139D, Mrs. Evelyn Holloway's shouts cut through the peaceful quiet of the cool Sunday morning. Not only was she loud, but the walls were thin, and in apartment 139B next door, Miss Irene Silverman frowned. She was having her morning tea. Piano music played from her small radio, and a pink robe kept her warm. After the fourth call of Marielle, Miss Silverman was highly annoyed. She threw her front door open and glared at Mrs. Holloway. "Good morning, Irene." "Morning, Evelyn. Might you consider lowering your volume?" "I would, if only my children could hear me." "8 on the dot, I said. It is 10 minutes later, and where is the eldest?" Irene counted the silent children that were standing around their mother. The boys, Gary and Terry, roughhoused as quietly as they could. Pokes were exchanged, and feet were stomped on. Shoulders were shoved. They both held in their chuckles and comments, though. Perhaps they understood more than their mother about being polite and quiet in the hallway. Beside them, Lucy sucked her thumb and occasionally whined that she was cold. Indeed, the eldest Holloway was quite unmistakably absent. She was much older than her siblings and was going through quite a phase of being contrarian. If her mother said hurry, she slowed. Mama. Lucy was getting insistent. Being only 2, she was not expected to behave for longer than a few minutes at a time. "Can we leave her behind?" Gary asked, referring to Marielle. "Oh, no. Your father wants to see all of you when he gets off the plane." "I could keep her." I could keep her," Irene found herself offering. If Mr. Holloway was coming back from a long job and wanted to see all his kids, then why not make this easy? They could go and pick him up from the airport and then come home. She nodded as if to make the point make sense in her head. "Anything is better than your yelling. Besides, my morning tea is already spoiled." "So kind of you," Evelyn muttered. Besides, she realized Irene was right. Her husband would get to see Marielle when they got home, and the drive to the airport wasn't very long. Then, just to try it, Evelyn took in one last breath and screeched, "Marielle, you come on this second, or you won't see your father at the airport." "Oh, Mother," came the reply, shrill and exasperated. "It's only going to be a bit longer. I don't like my hair so ruffled." "I will leave you at home." "What? No." "Then come on. Lucy is getting fussy." "Well, perhaps if you'd not yell like a possessed creature, she'd be calm." Mrs. Holloway gasped, putting a hand to her heart. Marielle was becoming so awfully rude. "How dare you? Children, come on! Mary is staying here!" With that, Mrs. Holloway and her shrill yelling, marched down the hallway, 3 bewildered children following. Miss Silverman was left with the door of apartment 139D still open. She was not sure what to do. In her home, her children slept. In Evelyn's, the teenage daughter was still fussing over every detail of her appearance, but neither could be left unattended. Still, morning tea was spoiled.